Hello friends, welcome back to another Dinkum build video. Some of you may notice a very familiar building here. This building has sort of sparked an entire franchise movement within the Dinkum community, and it's really taken off, and it's been a lot of fun interacting with all of you who've asked to have a coffee shop built on their island. This was about, I think, the second one that was built in the franchise here on my island during a live stream, and I have all this space back here, and I was like, I need to put something. It's another one of these projects that I finished for the most part, but if you really want to have a well-rounded, detailed island, you should, really, put that little extra effort in. So I decided I wanted to have sort of like a back patio deck area that faced the ocean, since it is right here, and I set about filling that in. Just dirt printing, happy-go-lucky. Seems to be my lot in life when it comes to Dinkum, dirt printing away. So it's going to match the front a little bit, but I wanted to also kind of have a little bit more of a casual feel. Hey, we're out here, we're going to chill and look at the ocean, and, here's the wildlife going after each other. We're going to take a break and say a moment of silence for that poor Roo that's going to be eaten by the doggo. I mean, it's Dinkum, it's Australia, come on. Anyway, this was, just me chilling one day, recording some, ideas that I had on how to make this happen. And I wanted to utilize, since I didn't really want to do a rooftop cafe or anything like that, and I really wanted to fill this space in, I knew I needed, quite a bit. And using the pergolas, you can't put anything under them, unfortunately, at least at this stage in the game, maybe never. And, you kind of have to set things up in a way to kind of trick your eye a little bit. And this was me attempting to do that. Here's some little covered areas back here where you can chill and drink your coffee and relax. I went through several different layouts. I didn't bore you guys with all of those. I wanted to, cut some of that stuff out because it was just sort of unnecessary. But hopefully this can give you an idea. And you don't have to put this with a coffee shop. You can add this on to pretty much any kind of build you have. If you're building a house and you want some sort of outdoor deck, you can do this and modify it. If you've got another, a restaurant that you've built, you could add this to that as well. Some of this stuff is not necessarily specific to one particular type of build. And there I go, sticking things where they don't belong. I do end up going back later and changing this out, which you'll see, the revised version later on. But I like this fencing. It's one of my favorites, but it was just not doing it for me in that instance. So I do go back later and tweak that a little bit and make it a little bit more cohesive to what I was doing here. So this is something that you can do literally for anything. Obviously, if you want to add it to the back of your coffee shop because you've positioned your coffee shop next to a river or next to the ocean, this would be perfect for that. A lot of the designs I've done so far don't really have a back area. They have the front and the sides or on the roof, and this may be something I utilize in a future build with someone I've collaborate with. I do know that I wanted to add a lot of plant life back here because there's a lot of brown, a lot of the wood colors happening. So you gotta give it a little pop of life and see what, take your eye away from all the palm wood that I used. After a while, I was like, maybe this was a mistake, but it does work really well when I break it up with the umbrellas and the seats, and there's white and blue thrown in along with some green of the foliage. So I was pretty pleased with how this turned out, and it didn't really take that long. I want to say, this video is only about 12-ish minutes, but I think real time it only took about an hour to do. I did have to do some clearing. There were a lot of trees back here and stuff that I had left after we had built the coffee shop. So there was some of that. But for the most part, this was a fairly quick, those of you who play Dinkum regularly know that, an hour is not really that long in the Dinkum world. So if you can do this in about an hour, especially if you're just direct copying what I've done here, you should be able to do it pretty quickly. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys watch, and I'll be back in just a little bit. As you can see here, I took down the flat top fence and I added a bit of an architectural element by making these little white pillars and kind of raising up the level of the outside of the patio. And then I put the hedging up next to it. So it's continuity from the front to the back. And I just like that a little bit more. Obviously, you feel free, if you're copying this, to do it however you would like and use whatever materials you enjoy. I really like this blue and white combination. It just seems so crisp and clean and kind of reminds me of Greece. It seems like everything there is blue and white. That's kind of weird to say when you're playing a game based on Australia, but there you go. I knew I wanted to do kind of like a fire pit. As I said, at the beginning of this video, I kind of wanted this area to feel a little more casual, a little more relaxed, more of a chill hangout by the ocean. And a fire pit just sounds great. I've been to places in Florida and California, and their outdoor eating areas have these really nice fire pits or whatever that you can sit around and relax by. And I was just like, you know what, I want to utilize that here, but I don't want it to take up a ton of room. So I just decided to elevate so I didn't set myself on fire too many times. Raise the fire pit up one block and put down some brick and set it on top of there. And just a nice little cozy spot to sit and drink your coffee and hang out with your friends and listen to the waves crash up against the base of the patio or whatever your imagination wants to fulfill. I used the wood and rope fencing at the edge. I could have used the flat top, but for whatever reason, I just felt like this was more appropriate for this space. It may have been the wrong call, but I liked how it turned out in the end. So again, when you're building this on your space, you can use whatever you would like. This is just an example of one of the ways it can be done. That's one of the great things about this game. I feel like there's so many creative ways people can do things. Even if they're building the same kind of thing, it gets to where it looks, unique because of the items that they used and the way they put things together. And that's a lot of fun to watch. I knew I wanted to use these chairs because I hadn't really used them in many of the other builds, and they're really, for me, an underutilized part of the game. And I was like, I need to pop these in here. It just goes so well with all the other colors I had chosen and what I had, already in place. And I had no plan in how this was going to be laid out when I originally set out doing it. So this is all just like, I was winging it. I think it turned out pretty good for an outdoor space that's supposed to be cohesive to what's in front, but also can kind of be a standalone. And it's a good space filler. So if you need something to fill the space, and yeah, it's a coffee shop, but we're gonna have some fun and put some coconut drinks out. It's fine. It's a coconut milk latte, maybe. Use your imaginations. This is just, some little finishes here. Putting out the coffee and different things on the tables because, you don't have an empty table. That's not fun. And, I always toss in a few books here and there as well because, who doesn't read while drinking coffee? I certainly do. So, yeah, this was, this wasn't a very long build. It only took about an hour. I had, a general idea in mind, but I threw this all together kind of on the fly, as you'll see. It didn't, it worked out well, given all of that. And sometimes that can be problematic for me and take a very long time. But I got lucky, and it went by a lot quicker than I thought. So, yeah, I'm very pleased, given that I had no real, idea of what I was going to do. This came together fairly easily. And of course, I've got to put in floor lights pretty much everywhere. Have I said that they're like my new favorite thing in the game? Yes. They go everywhere. They're a really great way to add light without obstructing the view. So here we have a final walkthrough. In case you missed the live stream that we built at the coffee shop, I'll link that in the description below, and probably a little card up there in the right-hand corner of your screen. But there's the front. I think the coffee shop has evolved in design quite a bit since here. It still gives you the same basic idea, but I think we've elevated it with every time we've built one on somebody's island. So yeah, now we've got this back patio space. We utilize all this extra room that we had, and we get these really great views of the ocean / river, or whatever you want to call that body of water that's out there. I'd hang out here and have coffee. What about you guys? You should also check out my Build Along With Me video where I give instruction and step-by-step real-time building of a coffee shop. So if you want one on your island and you don't want to wait for me, I suggest you check that out. And again, that video will be linked here on the channel in the description below, and probably a little card that'll pop up for you. I mean, everybody should have a coffee shop, I think. And you don't have to build this one. You can build one that comes out of your imagination, or something that reminds you of home, or one that you go to in your own life. You can model it after that. Again, look at that sunset. The lighting in this game is just so good. I love it. James, you did amazing. I do like how the soft light of this space really kind of adds to the ambiance and the mood. I did add in some tropical trees over there. I didn't show that in this video, but there they are. Anyway, guys, this wraps up this video. I hope you'll enjoy this little add-on to the coffee shop. As always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and I'll see you guys in the next one.